Good morning. Still hanging out outside in this beautiful month of May when it's not too hot. And today we're going to talk about Dr. Jordan Peterson and why he's worth listening to, part 1. Jordan Peterson, a YouTube phenomenon, a clinical psychologist, professor at the University of Toronto. I confess I did not know who he was a few months ago until in the same week, 2 different priest friends were like, Muir, you gotta check this guy out. And so I soon discovered the wealth of YouTube videos, and so wonderful figure. Check him out. I recommend him. Let me just point out one reason why I think he's very much worth listening to. He's an incredible example and teacher of the constructive energy of humility. There's a lot of unconstructive energy in today's world. Just think of social media and the kind of the wars that can break out, like on Twitter and Facebook. Think of the political world, how there's like 24-hour energy spent on just criticizing people. And there can be a lot of truth in that stuff, but it also can just be very unconstructive. Jordan Peterson is an example of someone who is modeling how to use humility as a tool for constructive criticism. If you want an example of this, look at his videos where he's talking about there was some legislation a couple years ago in Canada that was related to the issue of the transgendered movement and how to use pronouns. He jumped into that and was having some conversations with people who vehemently disagreed with him. What was so amazing was Jordan Peterson was able to be very humble, but also be very strong. And the conversations were actually kind of constructive. They actually go somewhere. And for so many of the hot social topics today, public conversation either just devolves into fighting and name-calling, or people just say, well, that's too much of a hot button, I'm just going to stay away from it. Here's a guy who's getting in there and has the humility to really listen to what's going on. Here's what I love about the way Peterson gets at this humility and its relationship to the truth. He loves to talk about how truth speaking is so important because it brings order out of chaos. Here I am in the world, right, and I'm acting. And as I'm acting, it's chaotic if I don't have words, and so I need words to help to categorize and bring order into my experience. So that's my friend, that's my enemy, that's poison, that's food, that's sickness, that's health, right? That's order, that's chaos, that's family, that's not. So words are so important, and words bring order into human experience. Like when you can name something that I'm feeling, you know. I remember I was at the park with my sister, and one of my nephews is just crying, and she says, use your words. Use your words. And I thought, that's like Jordan Peterson, right? The word, when he can say, I'm hungry. Okay, good. Now it's bringing order into that experience, and now he can get his little, fruit roll-up or whatever. Peterson quotes Solzhenitsyn, the Russian writer who suffered terribly at the hands of communist Russia. And he said, Solzhenitsyn said, when you speak truth, you create a zone of freedom. Why? Because you say, I will correspond my thoughts and actions to what's real and not to what powerful people say. And what that does to people who are afraid of the powerful people, they stand up and they say, I don't have to do what the powerful people say. I can do what's true. See, it's not just doing what the powerful people do or not what the powerful people want. It gives like a third option. The truth is always like a third option. It creates a zone of freedom. And the more and more we speak truthfully, the more capacious that zone of freedom becomes. But that requires massive humility, right? To say, I don't have a monopoly on the freedom. You don't have a monopoly on the freedom. The truth is objective, it's real. But let's go out together and seek it. When you seek to speak the truth in humility, what you find is you're not alone, right? It actually opens you up into the human community of people, none of whom has the monopoly on the truth. Like as Christians, we would say the only person who has a monopoly on the truth is God himself, Christ himself, who is the truth of God. And that he's called us into this common pursuit of the truth. Mind you, the humility to do that makes you strong, makes you tough, because you won't settle for anything less than the truth. You'll keep going. I've got a little bit of the truth. I want more of it. It makes you tough. Like no one would say Jordan Peterson is a pushover. Like if he, on these videos, he's like, I totally disagree with what you're saying, or you don't understand what I'm saying. It gives courage to enter into conflict around issues of truth, but to do it well and to do it with a kind of giving the other person the benefit of the doubt and to not always be like easily offended. Humility opens all these things up, and it attracts people to you, because in the humble truth telling, you create a zone of freedom. And I think that's exactly what you see happening around someone like Dr. Jordan Peterson.